Alright there, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be solving insert interval. Pretty much what you have in this one is you are given an array of intervals and then you're given a new interval where you have to figure out whether you could just insert it in the middle so the intervals you collect is sorted. So you have to see where this fits in and then try to put it in. If it overlaps, you have to merge those two intervals together. So for example, in this case, 2 is less than 3. So what we're going to have is 1, 2, 5 instead of 1 and 3 and 2 to 5. Hopefully you understand what that means. But let's get to coding it. To start off, we just want an empty array, which is the result. And then we kind of want to loop through the intervals. Range and pretty much we have to go through different if statements. So I guess the simplest one is assuming the fifth interval is less than 6. Let's say what we have is for intervals is 6. We just want to insert whatever new intervals is into that, and that should be our base case. So if new intervals, so 1, that would be the second element, less than intervals. I think it's new interval actually, not intervals. Less than intervals 0, I think. Yeah. So if that's the case, we want to do result append new interval. And I think we also want to basically add everything else that comes afterwards. So everything in intervals. I think we're going to use a result dot extend. So it's intervals, and we could just do I. So everything from that position forward, we just want to add it, and then we could just return result. So that's our base case. The other cases we have to consider is if a new interval, so let's say, for example, the new interval is 10 and it comes after this. So we want to see if new interval 1 is greater than the whatever 9 here. And if that's the case, we just want to keep inserting whatever we have and not do anything. So if new interval 0 greater than intervals 1. I've been making a mistake with intervals because we're supposed to have an I in between and another I in between. Then we want to do result dot append. Actually, yeah, we just want to do result dot append, and then we want to put intervals I, like this exact thing. We want to throw that in there. And the final case is, so this is basically covering all cases where the things don't overlap, and the final case is basically when they overlap. So when they overlap, we just want to set a new interval, and we just want, let's just make a new interval equals to an array of min. So that this one's easy because you just compare. Let's do new interval first. So we're going to compare the new interval 0 with intervals I and 0, and we want to do exact same thing from max, but just for the second element. I'm pretty sure this should make sense to you. And we just want to put 1 here and 1 here. Pretty much, let's say when it overlaps in the middle, what happens is we set the new interval to this, and then the next time we come, this if statement is going to be correct. So new intervals 1 and intervals I0 is going to be less than that. So we're going to just do whatever is happening here and have the result extended. And yeah, if that occurs, we're going to return the result. But let's say, for example, this is what happens, and that's the last element in the list. What we need to do is do result dot append, or let's say this is the last element on the list. That means we also don't add it in the list, so because the loop doesn't loop again. So at that point, we need to add result dot append new interval. Yeah, and we could just return result. If I haven't made any mistake, this should work, but usually I have made a mistake. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, and that is pretty much everything, guys. Thank you so much.